another In the Huddle WOVU's Look at Sports featuring the First Lady of Sports, Rachel Hill.
Hey, yo, what's up? This is her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am here with Willie Epting, and we're going to be giving you some of the hottest sports talk on the radio in the world. Thank you so much for joining us. We got to get into it, but first of all, if you guys are just listening, so Eric Nolan told you guys to stick and stay. You just missed one of the best lessons of 70s dancing, or was it 80s dancing, between him and Chris Styles. I recorded. I got to make sure I get it to them. Chris Styles is a student of the game, I guess, but he came in studio and started doing it with Eric, but he was doing so much better when he was opposite you in the other studio. Yeah, and I should have grabbed my phone and started recording in, but I recorded when he came in the studio. But it's one of those things in which you had to see it. Yes, you know what I'm saying? You had to see it. So I'm gonna share it with Chris Styles, and if he uses to share it with the world of him dancing, that's on him. So I love music. Is it from the 70s or 80s?
That's 70s.
Okay, so Chris Styles. So I just picture y'all in afros and bell bottoms with platforms, just getting it going. Yeah, now, were you around back then?
I was around, but I wasn't with them then.
Okay, now
I was with them. I joined them in '95.
Okay, so
but I was a student. I don't
know all this whole embarrassing story. But did you have an afro back then? What was your hair looking like? Like, how big was your afro?
It was pretty big. It
was
decent. It came over my ears. Okay.
All right, man. Good to know, man. So that was a few moments of unmitigated joy in the studio prior to the show starting. So that's why I came on super hyped. Maybe next time we can do it, but I don't know if I can't dance at all.
You'll get it.
Like that myth that all black people can dance is completely untrue, because I can't dance, I can't sing, I don't have many talents, except for talking about sports. So there it is. But thank you so much for that laugh today. I appreciate it. I'm here with Willie, man. Hey, Willie, man, what's going on, man? How you doing, sir?
Cleveland! What's going on, Cleveland?
Cleveland doing okay, man. We finally got a nice day today. It's about 72 degrees here. Yeah, 72. It was snowing last week. On Sunday, it was snowing. So it's 72 degrees today. But the funny part is I didn't have none of my windows open or anything like that. It was still chilly in my place, even though I didn't have on any type of air conditioner or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
So I don't know. No one has asked me why is that, and I'm like, I have no idea. But I was still cold in my place of residence. So we finally having a nice day, because Willie lives in Texas, and he said that at nighttime in August it's like 105 degrees. So it ain't even cooled off.
Right.
That's always for them. They're blessed.
Yeah. So I'm not used to that type of heat or anything like that. So now we finally got some heat up here. The streets is about to be acting up. So, But Willie, what'd you do over the weekend? Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah. I went to one of my homegirls' parties on Saturday. Me and my wife rode out to a party. And then on Sunday, what did we do? Oh, I took her to brunch yesterday, and that was pretty much it. Had a meeting with my girl too.
Yeah, we did your show. What was that show called again?
We didn't do a show yesterday.
On Saturday.
Oh yeah, Saturday we had the Kick the Narrative, the BGC Sports Network's quarterly Kick the Narrative. I am the proud and humble host of that, and we talked about a myriad of things. That's one of those times where we actually don't talk about sports. But that show usually runs 2 hours. This time it was only 1, and we usually do it in person. Due to a myriad of circumstances, we decided to do it online this time and do it virtual. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh, I know who I was talking about. Eric Nolan is with the OJs.
Say it again.
Eric Nolan, who I was talking about, was doing a dancing lesson. He's with the OJs. You know who the OJs are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here with a member of the OJs. Huh?
Okay. Oh man, one of my favorite groups, man.
One of his favorite groups. Eric, say hey to Willie.
Hey,
he
Willie.
Can't see you.
Hey, Willie.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
We'll be coming up there. I think we there in September.
Okay.
At the H-Town Arena.
Oh, you're going to Houston? I'm in Dallas.
Are you in Dallas?
Yeah.
When y'all going in?
Come on down, man.
I'm gonna come down. You know what?
Come on down.
Rachel, I'm gonna need you to give him my information, okay?
Okay, I will.
Give your name to Rachel, and she'll give it to me. I'll make sure you have 2 when I get there.
Bet. Me and my wife will be there. Yes,
No,
sir.
no, my word is bond.
That's love, man. I appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Good
Yes,
people.
sir.
Yeah, Eric Nolan, man, good people. So funny story about that. You're gonna laugh at this in the audience. So one day he was playing a song, and I was like, playing it because his show was right before mine, and he was playing a song. I'm like, man, I really like this song. So I think I Shazammed it or whatever, but I didn't realize because Eric, it was like I didn't realize who you was, right? So I asked Eric, I was like, I was like, you got an album? And he was like, yeah. I didn't know he was with the OJs, though. Because
you know the good thing about that, though?
What?
Is that you don't have time to get starstruck.
Yeah, but it was honest.
Yeah, I was so embarrassed, though, because, I pay attention to sports. I don't pay attention to music that much. So when he was like, I was like, you got a CD? He was like, yeah, I got a CD. And then somebody was like, that's Eric Nolan of the OJs. I was like, what? I didn't know that. I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. A music legend. All right, I see. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, I didn't know a music legend, man.
For real.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely make sure I link that up for y'all. But yeah, I had an excellent time doing your show. I appreciate that. You do so much. You're so busy. I'm like, I need to be like you. What was I telling you? You was helping me walk through some stuff yesterday. I'm like, man, I need to be like you. Got my hands and everything, trying to be good at everything I do. But man, let's get into it. So a lot of things have taken place. So this is the first show that we have had a chance to do. Cleveland Kate can't be here today. She is on a flight to Vegas. So hopefully she has a good time. But one of the things we have not had a chance to do was play the Her in the Huddle schedule game. So all of the NFL schedules came out last week. And what did you think about your team schedule? So, people don't know you follow the Raiders, even though you live in Dallas. I mean, the Cowboys suck, so I definitely wouldn't follow them if I was you. But you follow the Raiders. What did you think of the schedule with your team that came out? What game are you looking forward to the most? I
can tell you which games I'm not looking forward to.
Give me those.
That's those first 4. Baltimore at home on Monday night.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough.
Go across the country, or to go across country is what I'm trying to say, to play y'all's biggest rival, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's a 1:00 game. Then we come home and play the Dolphins, who pretty much put us out the playoff picture last year. And then after that, we go on the road to face Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. Those 4 games right there. Okay. I'm not very happy, and I'm a realistic fan, and I'm thinking that the best we're gonna do out of that is gonna be 2-2, and I'm hoping for 2-2. Now, the question that you asked me is, which game am I looking forward to the most? The Las Vegas Raiders come to Jerry World, aka the Chicken Fried Nation, aka Black Furnace, aka Jerry World on Thanksgiving Day, and that is a 7:00 kickoff.
Oh, Thanksgiving Day? I'd actually be happy to see that. Well, first of all, I'm sick of watching the Cowboys play, but I don't want to see them play Washington or, Detroit or anything like that. So that's a matchup I think a lot of people will look forward to on Thanksgiving. I feel a little disrespected and a little attacked, in which you did mention the Cleveland Browns being on your schedule. So I'm a little...
Wait. I actually wrote an article about that. It's coming out, I think, tomorrow. Cleveland Sports Talk, clevesportstalk.com. I will tweet it out, and it will be available about that very game. So you got ahead of yourself.
Okay. So yeah, we gonna talk about that. But what about that Broncos game? I don't mind watching the Raiders and Broncos go at it, because usually it gets real chippy real quick. Divisional rivals. So what are your thoughts about those 2 games on that schedule?
I'm gonna be a little afraid if somehow the Broncos pull off a trade and get A-Rod into the building for Denver. I'm not looking forward to that if that happens. But other than that, we've kind of had the Broncos number the last couple of years. I'm definitely praying that Drew Lock will be behind center. Although the Raiders defense will make anybody look good. I mean, they will make anybody look like Joe Montana or Tom Brady or whoever. But this year, it's going to be a little different. We got Gus Bradley back as our defensive coordinator. He's a cover 3 guy, and I think we have the personnel in place. We've got some additions on the line, the defensive line that can get after the passer with Nguku from Baltimore. We got Max Crosby, of course, David Irving, the former Cowboy. Cleveland Farrell, he needs to step up. This is going to be his 4th year, and the 4th overall pick from 2000, whatever it was. He needs to earn his paycheck, but I think he's gonna benefit from Crosby on one side and Nguku being on the other side. So I think the defensive line is going to be much improved.
And I'm always looking forward to the matchup against the Chiefs as well. So we need y'all to kind of handle some business in y'all division as well. But we're going to face them first and foremost before any team in the season. So schedule came out, and one of the things that we noticed was that the Cleveland Browns had the possibility of playing 8 nighttime games. So they have 4 games with 4:25 starts. They have 3 games that are night games, but there's one that has potential to be flexed as well. What does that tell you about what America or the NFL thinks about the Cleveland Browns?
I mean, they've arrived. They're here. And the expectations that are fourth and foremost in the Cleveland fans and all of Browns Nation for 2021 is going to be similar to that of 2019, where they didn't quite meet those expectations. But with another year under their belt and with a coach that's a real head coach, other than Freddie Kitchens and Baker Mayfield and his progression in that system, the Cleveland Browns have arrived.
Yeah,
they have arrived.
And normally we would have some trepidation with all those night games because, like you mentioned, in 2019, when we thought we were going to have that Super Bowl run, what happened? So, we lost those nighttime games, and then we were relegated to pretty much almost all 1 p.m. starts. And then also in 2007, when we went 10-6, and then we got all those nighttime games, and then what did we do? But this year is different. And we've talked before, the NFL likes the Browns. They want the Browns to be good because it is one of the oldest franchises. It has a rabid fan base. And we've debated this before by whether or not the Browns are becoming America's team. I think people want to rally behind this team because they've been so bad for so long. It's the ultimate underdog story. It's like, how could you not like them? How could you not want them to win? And they also have a polarizing player. They have Baker Mayfield, who's very polarizing. I know I just saw that Cowboys son, Freddie said that. Well, you can say it was a good thing I'm not a Cowboys fan. Right. But yeah, the Cowboys do suck. But we have Baker Mayfield, which is a very polarizing quarterback to a lot of people. He's very polarizing. Yeah, 26 years of sorry. That is correct. So aren't you rooting for us, Freddie? Don't you want the Browns to win? Is that not the ultimate underdog story and a great storyline?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I'm talking about the Cowboys. I'm not caring about no Browns. The Browns in the same position as the Cowboys, if you ask me.
What do you mean by that? I'm asking you now.
The only difference between the Cowboys and the Browns is that the Cowboys is promoted by the owner, and Jerry Jones, who's been more like a cheerleader than an owner, who's been more of a GM than the owner, who's been the coach more than the owner. So, I mean, hey, you got to ask the question. Well, I will say this. The Browns are on the come up. The Cowboys, is still that black cat running around that franchise. I'm just saying.
Y'all at least have some Super Bowls. Y'all been to Super Bowls. Y'all have some titles. The Browns have one championship from 1964 that we like to hang on to.
Who's y'all? You talking about Rachel?
I'm talking about The Dallas Cowboys. Who your team again? I forgot.
Oh, okay. I don't root for the Cowboys. I'm a Giants fan. Let's get that
Okay, I
straight.
forget.
Yeah.
I forget, man. All y'all living in these states where by your birthright, you should be rooting for the hometown team. So I forgot I got these defectors on air with me. But, you know, I think that because the Cowboys were previously called America's team, but you got to make some way for the Cleveland Browns. They're on the come up. They're ready. They're hungry. They're ready to win. And the NFL is saying, hey, you are one of the premier franchises. We are going to put you up against one of the best, even though Kansas City did not win that Super Bowl. They got manhandled. We're going to put you up against the best team in the AFC. One of the things that, before we get into it, because we got to take a break, one of the surprises that I was kind of taken aback that we didn't see Buffalo on the schedule. I thought it would kind of be nice to face up against the AFC East, but with the way that the schedule is going, you know, that wasn't going to happen, but it would have been nice to possibly see them in like preseason or something like that, just to get a gauge. Because I fully believe that if we were able to beat Kansas City, we would have been able to beat Buffalo. So it would have been kind of nice to see them in some capacity. So we got to go ahead and take a break right quick. You are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We will be right back.
The County Board of Health and East Cleveland City Schools are bringing the COVID-19 vaccine to you Wednesday, May 19th from 2 to 6 p.m. at Shaw High School, 15320 Euclid Avenue on the number 2837 and number 41 bus line, and free parking at Shaw High School. Visit metrohealth.org/COVID-19/COVID-vaccine to register, or you can call 216-778-6100. That's 216-778-6100. Walk-ins are also welcome at the free COVID vaccination event Wednesday, May 19th, 2 to 6 p.m. at Shaw High School in East Cleveland.
This message is brought to you by East Cleveland City Schools, the Cuyahoga County Board of Health, Metro Health System, and WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Grandma, I really need to use your computer.
Okay, but first I have to check my Facebook.
Facebook? You know how to use it?
Of course I know how. I took classes at the Thea Bowman Center. What do you want the computer for anyways?
I finally decided to get my GED. I just need some help.
I'm so happy to hear that. Thea Bowman Center does that too. You can get your GED online or in person. Let me help you get registered. Log on to theabowmancenter.org or call 216-491-0699.
Thank you. I can't wait to get started.
Me, I can't wait to see you get started.
This message is brought to you by the Thea Bowman Center, NWOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a Burton Bell Carr community radio station.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
Hey, yo, welcome back. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. I got on my WOVU t-shirt today for everybody watching via StreamYard and Facebook, representing, of course. Remember, you can always give us a call at 216-271-0959. You can listen to us online at WOVU.org. You can also take us with you on the go all the time at WOVU. Download the WOVU app. So you can go ahead and get that in your app store and take us on the go and listen to your favorite personalities like myself whenever you want to. So I got my co-host Willie Upteen back with me, and we were going through some of the games. So I had to talk a little trash on the Las Vegas Raiders. You just know what it is. So Cleveland Browns. So the first game up we have against any team is going to be Kansas City. There was a lot of disappointment when that schedule came out because people were wondering why the Cleveland Browns had to go up against the AFC champions and why not be able to take a couple weeks before they meet a team like that. They wanted to start off with a cupcake and not have to face Pat Mahomes and that offense. But one of the things that a lot of people might not realize or might not know is that Kansas City is going to be starting a new left tackle and a new right tackle on that offensive line. So people wanted to have the opportunity, or I know I would say that I wanted to have the opportunity for that defense to come together for a couple games in jail, because there's going to be some improvement opportunities, some learning curves, what Joe Woods is going to do with all the weapons that he has. Allow them to get acclimated to playing together first before you throw them against the Wolves and throw them to a team as good as the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think that last year there was a good measuring gauge against that team as well. And even though we didn't win, we lost by 5 points. Pretty much Kansas City had, for the majority, had won all their games with almost within 6 points. So we were right there. They won by 5. Everybody, we can argue the play in which the helmet-to-helmet contact and the terrible rule that hopefully gets looked at about fumbling in the end zone. But if not for that, the Cleveland Browns could have possibly been able to get one on Kansas City. Pat Mahomes went out. To me, there was no excuse. You had the best opportunity to win that game once he was done, and they didn't. They allowed Chad Henne to have 2 game-saving fourth down runs, and that was it. So I would always say if they had a mediocre defense, they would have been able to win that game if it was mediocre. What say you about the Cleveland Browns and that matchup going against Kansas City?
Well, I look at it like this. If I'm a Cleveland fan, I want this game. I want this game because now you have an opportunity to show that last year in that AFC divisional round was not a fluke. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we can say what we want to say about the terrible call, and I hate that call, and I think I hate that call, that rule even more, of the ball going out of the end zone. Okay, so I know we're getting off topic, but I got to say this.
Go ahead.
When that happens, when the offense fumbles the ball out of the end zone, what the hell has the defense done to be rewarded the ball?
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, okay, so they may have caused the fumble, but you didn't even possess the ball. So I look, that has to change. But anyway, back to that game.
A lot of people didn't even know it was a rule, Willie.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a rule.
Yeah.
Because when it was like it's a fumble and we didn't get I'm like, what? You know, I understand it being a fumble, but it's like he's in the end zone. And I'm just like, what? I never heard of it before. So I was just stunned. And I've been watching football a long time. You know, I wouldn't say I know all the rules. I've never been an official, but it was just stunning. And people were in disbelief that this rule actually existed and that it was called in this game.
Yeah.
Of all games.
And the Raiders were a victim of that same rule against the Cowboys the last time we actually played the Cowboys.
Okay.
Back in 2017. That was a Thursday night game. Derek Carr had scrambled all the way down to the end zone, or to the goal line almost, and he got hit by Jeff Heath, who actually now plays for the Raiders. The ball went out of the end zone, and they got the ball back. The Cowboys got the ball back. If you remember, Rachel, that was the game where the referee had to pull out the index card when they were measuring for the first down, and he pulled out the index card and put it between the ball and the chain. And since the index card did not touch the ball, he gave the Cowboys a first down. Yeah.
They could be doing anything out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, the league has been against us since the inception. So what's the
excuse me. So yeah, I kind of feel the same way too. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be the best. You have to beat the best. And I think it'll show what the Browns are really made of. A lot of people are saying they're going to lose this game, but you never know. And that's why you play the game. You never know till you get out there. This, I think, Kevin Stefanski, he admitted that he made some mistakes in play calling and game calling in that game last year, first year. This dude wasn't even with his team half the time. Everything was done virtually. So I think that they did a great job and took leaps and bounds with not having a regular season. And this is a first-year head coach, coach of the year, first-year head coach. Totally turned his team around. Wasn't even around him halftime. Had a playoff win. Didn't even coach because of COVID. It was crazy. My biggest missteps with him was the Jets game and the Chiefs game. I felt like those are games that were certainly winnable, even though we didn't win. I felt like they were winnable, so I kind of had a gripe with that. But, it is what it is. So I think that they'll be ready for that game. I think they'll get up, and I think they'll be ready for it. Now, they take on Houston, Texas in week 2. So last year, they barely beat the Houston Texans. That game was a wild one. It was 10-7, bad weather. Deshaun Watson going off. One of the things that, I like last night and Saturday night, I spent almost all day Sunday. I was watching a lot of highlights of the Browns and their wins. I didn't really want to watch the losses because, I hate doing that. But quarterbacks were able to go off on the secondary. But one of the reasons why was the Browns had built up these large leads. And then, teams play from behind. So you have all these quarterbacks that have all these passing yards. And then Cleveland kind of changed the defense that they played. They started to play his own defense. They got away from playing man-to-man. So you can get whatever you wanted to in these large chunks of yardage. And that was one of the things that the Texans were able to do. So once again, they have the Texans at home, which is kind of weird to me, how you have the back-to-back home and home against some teams. It's happened to the Browns before against Denver. I'm sure it's happened before, but I look at that as a win. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and y'all got the Raiders. I know we're going to get into it later, but the Raiders for the second straight year at home too.
Yeah, no. How did that happen?
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, as far as the Texans go, I'm expecting the Browns to do what the Browns need to do in this game, particularly with the fact that the Houston Texans are probably the poorest run franchise in North American sports. We don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to be there. Excuse me, and I hope that he's not, simply because I have all kind of conspiracy theories about that. But I mean, when you trade away your quarterback's best weapon, and then you promise that he's going to be on the take as far as making out the grocery list, but then you take the pen and paper and you hide it so he can't be a part of that. I hope that everything that goes wrong for the Texans goes wrong. Look, if you have your superstar defensive player that's been the mainstay and the face of the franchise for years, going to the quarterback and saying, "Hey, yo, I'm sorry, man, we suck. We absolutely suck, and we're wasting your prime years." And now he's not there, but Deshaun Watson still is there. I hope the Houston Texans lose every game by at least 28 points.
Oh, that's being mean.
I don't care.
And so it'll be interesting to see if Deshaun Watson is still there as well when the season begins, because it's been very quiet about those allegations regarding his massage appointments. Mm-hmm. I don't know why you got so many massage people, and I like somebody, I tend to stay with them, for a couple of years or so, unless situations change. So, I kind of don't understand how that went down, but it is what it is. So that should be interesting. So game number 2 against the Chicago Bears. So one of the reasons why I like this matchup, this is a home matchup, is we're going to see what Justin Fields can do, this Ohio State product. So this team had previously been led by Mitch Trubisky, an Ohio kid, a kid who is about his high school was about half an hour away from Cleveland, and he just couldn't get it done with the Chicago Bears. So looking forward to this matchup, because we don't face Chicago that often. And when we have, it's been on the downside against the Bears. So super excited about that matchup, have them at home. And obviously they're going to be trying to do some things offensively with this new quarterback that they have. What are your thoughts about the Bears?
Well, Coach Nagy, he is FOS, and I can't say the last word on air because I don't want you to get shut down.
Yeah, don't do that.
But
FCC does monitor us.
Yeah, he is that. And look, to come out and say that Andy Dalton is your QB1 on the day that you sign him, I think is a bit ridiculous.
Andy Dalton sucks.
It's not that he sucks. It's just that he's not that guy anymore. Not that he ever really was.
Yeah.
But he was a more than serviceable starter in this league. And those teams that he was on when he took the Cincinnati Bengals to the playoffs, they didn't lose all because of him. I think a lot of that had to do with Marvin Lewis, but that's another story for another day. And how far is Chicago from Cleveland? Like what, 5 hours?
5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but it's home. So.
Yeah. So I think Justin Fields, I think everybody thinks and pretty much knows that he's going to be the starter probably by the end of training camp.
Yeah, and the Bears have a good defense, but I think that the Browns will be able to put up points because they have been able to put up points against very good defenses. So I don't think that'd be an issue.
You know what's crazy though?
What?
Last year, in those first 4 games last year, the Browns put up at least 32 points in those first 4 games. Or no, 3 of those first 4 because they got beat down by the Steelers. But
that was week 1. That shouldn't have happened. That game shouldn't have happened.
But after that, they scored at least 32 points, I want to say, in each game for the next 4 games.
Mm-hmm. And we was ready to go in that Baltimore game, and life comes at you fast.
Yeah. Life's name was Lamar Jackson.
Man, I was watching that Monday Night Football game the other night. It just exciting game. I'm so mad we was on the losing end of that. So guess who goes home for week 4?
Tell me.
Kevin Stefanski goes back to Minnesota, where it all began for him. So this will be there's numerous storylines with this matchup. He spent his entire career in Minnesota, so he goes home. The edge is going to go to Cleveland because we have, more talent on defense. But, it's going to be an interesting game to see what is cooked up against his old team because he knows them inside and out. Does a team, come up with a special, different game plan for this one time because he knows them through and through? Or do you think Minnesota will stick with their normal game plan?
Well, you got to look at it like this. The Browns and all of the upgrades that have been made on defense.
Yeah.
It is going to be totally and 100% necessary against that man that's going to be coming at them from the running back position for the Vikings, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook, in my opinion, is a top 4 running back in this league. So I don't think that I think that is going to be the challenge for the Browns, and it's really going to be is really going to be the measuring stick, if you will, because other than that, other than those other 3 games, besides maybe Clyde Edwards-Helaire, think about it. He's going to be the truest and the toughest running back test for that retooled defense. So if you're going to talk about changing game plans, they're going to have to really do something on the defensive side because of what all they brought in. Now, offensively, I think they're just going to do what they do.
Yeah, because do you think that defensively they're going to be able to? Well, I think that Kevin Stefanski will have a game plan for Kirk Cousins because he pretty much made Kirk Cousins into who he was. But also that's where Jadeveon Clowney can come in as far as defense because they're saying he's not really going to be a pass rusher. He's going to be a run stopper. So this might be an opportunity for him to shine and go up against Dalvin Cook and, get some key stops.
Agreed. And the thing with Jadeveon Clowney is that, yeah, he was the number 1 overall pick. That was questionable by a lot of people, in a lot of people's minds at that time. And if you look at it over the course of his career, he never really just gelled in what they thought he was going to be in terms of being a pass rusher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to be definitely going to be interesting. But, that game, Kevin Stefanski got circled on his schedule. As soon as he came, I'm sure he was very excited because I'm like, I think they were supposed to play them in preseason, but because there was no preseason, that didn't happen. Because, we were also supposed to play Tampa Bay in preseason too. And I was kind of mad because I'm like, even though I can't stand Tom Brady, I wouldn't mind covering that game and, maybe being able to ask, Tommy Terrific a question. Where Tommy messed up with me is he went to the University of Michigan. So we got to take a quick break right quick. That's our time. I'm like, ooh, we just having a good old conversation. I didn't realize we were at that time. So we're going to be right back. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. Hey yo, I'm back. You are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU, a 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I'm here with my co-host, Willie Epteen. And one of the things we're doing is we are playing the Her in the Huddle schedule game. There was a lot of excitement regarding the Cleveland Browns schedule that just came out. So this is the first time we've been on the air since the schedule has came out. So we're having a good time talking about some of these matchups. And we just talked about the matchup of Kevin Stefanski going home to where it started it all, where it made him, he became a man at. He's on the face against his old team. You know that all. You know what y'all men be doing, because you know women don't really do that. Where it started it all, where I became this, I became that. You know, that's kind of a man thing. You know, but he's going back. So super excited for him. Super excited for that matchup, and excited to see what that defense is going to do against Kirk Cousins, because he has such a hand in helping Kirk Cousins have success, as well as the Minnesota Vikings overall. So that's going to be a great matchup. Now, one anticipated matchup that's going to be taking place is they are going to be at the Los Angeles Chargers. Man, I should try to cover that game. Should try to go out to LA, because that stadium is right there in Inglewood, right there near Compton, right outside of that. Right? You been there before?
I haven't been to that stadium, no, but I haven't actually ever been to LA. I've just been.
You haven't?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, I love LA.
But we are going this summer, though.
Okay, you going this summer?
Yeah.
All right, you know people out there?
Yeah, I still got people in Oakland, but not really in LA.
Okay, you know people in LA?
Yeah and no. I mean, my wife's got cousins out there, so yeah, we may have to hit them up.
Because I was gonna say one of my best friends is out there, because I just was out there last month. So I love LA. When we was out there in October, she did take us past that stadium, and it's an architectural marvel, but it's like kind of out in the middle of nowhere. You know, like the about where's New Jersey? What was that stadium called? The Meadowlands.
Meadowlands.
And it's like, oh, we forgot to build a stadium in New York, so we just gonna build one out in the middle of nowhere. So that's what it kind of reminds me of. But one thing that is full of excitement that people are gonna be talking about is gonna be the matchup with Baker Mayfield and Justin Herbert. What was that breakout playoff game he had? Was it against Seattle?
When you say he had the breakout playoff game, who are you talking about?
I'm thinking of Rams. My bad. I'm thinking of Rams. Justin Herbert.
Well, Justin Herbert, last year's Rookie of the Year.
Okay, thank you.
I think that took a lot of people by surprise.
I've been forgetting him and Jeff Goff confused.
Yeah, well, Jared Goff is just going. Look, he's going to the place where careers die. So in terms of Justin Herbert, look, this kid is big, strong, more athletic than people thought, and he is a leader. And the thing is, too, when he was coming out of Oregon, that was one of the knocks on him, was whether or not he was going to be able to lead an NFL team, because he's kind of quiet, kind of reserved. He's from Eugene, Oregon. That area up there, that from what I heard is it's a little lit up there. Let me just leave it at that. And I think that the Chargers are in a position where they can actually get over the hump with this kid. Maybe it won't be this year. Maybe we're looking at that maybe in the next couple years, but they've got something special with that kid.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a good matchup that people are going to obviously pick quarterback against quarterback. So we'll see what happens out in Los Angeles. So let me see what time that game is, too. That might be a nighttime game, I think. Okay, that's a 4:05 game.
Yeah,
so that's a 4:05 game. So that's going to be a night game for us. So after that, week 6, they take on Arizona Cardinals. So the last time they took on the Arizona Cardinals was out in Arizona. This time we have them at home. Another even start as well. It didn't go too good, and Kyler Murray kind of had day against us. So we had a hard time containing him. But as always, we've had a hard time containing the run and all that other stuff because of how bad our defense was. Well, they have the addition of J.J. Watt as well, who they added last year. What are your thoughts about what the potential that this game has? Because, that front seven that Washington possesses could spell some trouble for the Cleveland Browns.
Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is really Lincoln Riley's game. You have back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners that he had at the University of Oklahoma, or what some people call 0U, because they call them OU, 0U. I'm looking forward to this matchup because of those two Texas boys that are going to go at it. And Kyler Murray did not lose a game in his life until that Final Four playoff game against, who was it, against Georgia or Alabama? That was the only time he had lost a game in his life up to that point.
In his life? Never in high school?
They never lost a game in high school. I think he was 32-0
Did he play in middle school?
I'm sure he did, yeah. But he went to Allen, and Allen out here, I don't know what high school could be compared to up there in Cleveland. I guess you could maybe say, what is it, Glenville? That's where Ted Ginn Jr. and all those other people went to school.
Yeah, but it not that many people teams like the ones out there. I heard, like, I was watching something about the punter for Washington Redskins, and like they ended up having to have a game at the University of Tulsa because 30,000 people came out for a high school game.
Mm-hmm.
All crazy.
Well, Allen's football stadium holds 22,000 people.
Oh my God.
For everybody out there in Cleveland, listen to me. Google Allen High School, Allen, Texas. Google the high school, Google the stadium, and you will be amazed. I'm telling you.
How many people go to the high school?
It's a 6A school, and it's a division. Well, in Texas, there's two divisions for 5A and 6A. You have Division 1 and Division 2, and depending on which one it is, you have a higher population of students in the
Eagle Stadium. Why does this look like a college stadium? What in the world is going on here?
Yeah, that's where Kyler Murray played his high school ball at.
It's bigger than some college stadium. Oh my God.
Yep. So yeah, let me keep talking while her mouth is locked jawed open because her jaw has fallen to the floor. So yeah, that is where he went to school at. And you asked the question, how many students go there? I'm not exactly sure, but it's one of the biggest high schools in Texas. I know Allen's up there, Katy is up there, Katy's down near Houston, they're up there. But we went actually to their campus. One of our kids had a concert out there at their school, and when I tell you they have restaurants in their school, I would not be lying to you.
Oh my God. What?
As a matter of fact, anybody that's out there watching us on Facebook Live, okay, please comment to the show and tell Rachel about how it is at Allen High School, because I shared this onto my page. Anybody that's watching this, please put some comments in there and let Rachel know about how Allen High School is out there in what county is that? It's Collin County out there. They got a lot of money out there too. A lot of money.
Oh my God. Allen High School. This is crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Allen High School. Let me see how people go to the high school. Oh, 5,000. So almost 5,500. So, okay. So yep. Mentor High School. So actually, Mr. Trubisky's high school is the largest high school enrollment in the state of Ohio. And they had like 4,000 kids. And I'm like, you have no excuse but to be good because you got all the kids. You got a lot to pick from. Like my nephew ran track in like 9th grade of high school. And it was like event, like I guess heats are called, of like nothing but mentor kids. And then you had some occasional. I'm like, it should not be that many people that go to your school. But okay, wow. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. And the city of Allen has probably about 150,000 people, and they only got one high school out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad. But they got like 21,000 students. So that's not bad that, 5,300 are in the high school.
Yeah, but still.
So Kyler Murray, I'm sorry, we got off track for a second. So Kyler Murray has never lost a game in his life until the Final Four in the
college football playoff
championship series. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is correct.
So you think he winning that game against the Cleveland Browns this time, or they got his number?
I'm pulling for the I think the Browns are going to win. I think the Browns have more talent on offense, especially with OBJ coming back. The running game, and of course, we're talking about all of these things in May, so we don't know how it's going to really be when this game starts. But all things being equal and congruent, I would like the Browns in this matchup. I'm a little afraid of what the Cardinals may not be able to do as far as running the ball with Kenyon Drake now being in Vegas. So we'll see.
Okay. Now moving on to week 7 versus the Denver Broncos. This is a team that the city of Cleveland has a hate relationship with because of what they did to us in the 1990s. 1980s, excuse me. I need to get I Still Hate John Elway t-shirt. I've not got it yet, but I still need to get it. So this is a matchup that we have at home. This is a Thursday night football game at 8:20. So this is one that is highlighted, I think, because of the history between the teams. But this is something that I definitely could see the Browns winning. Now, they did not win the last matchup against them. They just were not good. They were not ready. And that was a game in which they should have won, but they kind of ended up getting blown out. So, Vic Fangio and that defense, they're going to have their hands full with trying to be able to contain the offensive weapons. But I do look that the Browns should be able to beat the Broncos this time around.
Yeah, I agree. Now, the Broncos, they will get wide receiver Cortland Sutton back. What up, Ken Hill? Faithful Cuss Barbershop right here in the Colony, the dopest barber in the game. That's one of his clients. And Cortland Sutton with Hamler and Judy and Noah Fant, they've got some weapons. Now, will Drew Lock be able to unlock himself?
Yeah.
And get the ball to him is what the question is.
Yeah, so that's going to be their quarterback and not Aaron Rodgers, huh?
I don't want to talk about that.
I think Aaron Rodgers will be right in Green Bay where he gonna be at. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's see, the Shake Back Sports Show that we did this past weekend, my host at that time was Gerald Brown, and he mentioned Aaron Rodgers going to New Orleans. So I know New Orleans is pretty much cash strapped, but those GMs, they get paid a lot of money for a reason.
Where's Teddy Bridgewater at now?
Teddy Bridgewater is in Denver.
Okay. Oh, he is?
Yeah, he got traded. He got traded from Carolina to the Broncos. So
wasn't he just in New Orleans though?
He was in New Orleans 2 years ago.
Man, why is he moving around so much? Why can't he?
And you got to think too. The Panthers just signed him to a 4-year, $64 million deal, and then they traded him.
What is up with that?
Uh-huh.
Because what were we talking about? I got distracted for a second. we were talking about.
You got distracted by Allen's football stadium. But
yeah. Aaron Rodgers, but yeah. He went Denver now? Teddy Bridgewater went to Denver that fast?
Yeah, they traded him right before the draft. I think it was actually on draft day.
So we don't got to worry about Drew Lock then.
Well, we'll see.
I think
you'd rather have Drew Lock than Teddy Bridgewater anyway.
Yeah.
If you're a Cleveland fan and then going against the Broncos.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't want to face Teddy Bridgewater, so we'll pass on that. So weeks 8 at home. 1 p.m. start, division rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Usually we get Pittsburgh very early in the season, but this year we don't face them until week 8. Why do you think that is the case this year?
I don't think I know the expectations for the Steelers are not going to be. Well, let me put it this way: the expectations for the Browns are going to be higher than that of the Steelers for the first time in I don't even know how long. So with that being said, that may have something to do with it. And the fact that the Browns went further. I mean, the Browns, of course, beat the Steelers in the first round of the playoffs last year. What was the score? 35-0 in the first quarter?
Beat them bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, so that might have something to do with that.
Yeah, that score was 48-37, and they built up a big lead. But what happened? The defense laid off, and it got very close at the end. So I guess, credit to the Browns though for building up these big leads in which the defense that they had were able to sustain wins, but barely. But yeah, they a lot of times they were not able to get a lot of things going in the second half, but they got off to these big leads. So will this be the tale this season as well? But I think with the improved defense, that won't happen as much. That's the hope. So with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, it's just so crazy how kind of the fortunes have changed. And they haven't changed yet because we have to be able to prove that we can beat them throughout the regular season as well. Pittsburgh was that team. And it was funny because they were doing so well. I'm like, can Pittsburgh run the table last year? And that was one of the things, because they were 12-0 at a certain point. Yeah, 11-0. I'm like, man, I think that they might be able to run the table. But, the chinks in the armor, losing to Washington and all that other stuff, set upon a chain of events, losing to the Browns in the last game of the season in order for us to make the playoffs, losing to us in the playoffs. We saw the huge decline of Ben Roethlisberger. It was like, are you familiar with Cedar Point and all the roller coasters?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it was one called Top Thrill Dragster, which is just a hill. It's just a hill. That's it. You go up and you go down. And you kind of saw that, Ben Roethlisberger, 5 interceptions, and we just ran roughshod against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's what Cleveland fans want to see. It gives us opportunity to see how good the Steelers are as well and what they're going to be able to do too. So that's a matchup that is highly anticipated at home. Usually we get the Steelers on the road starting out, but I think that this is going to be a good thing. And now you're slowly going to be seeing the shift of the AFC North. So I'm super excited about that event. Can we be the kings of the AFC North? Obviously, we got to be able to knock off Baltimore to do that. But we now have the players that can keep up with this team. And before in the past, we had never been able to do that. But now it's a different day. And one of the things is this team can go into any matchup against Pittsburgh now and know that they could beat them where they didn't have that confidence to do that before. And they beat them twice in a row, which is going to be a huge thing for the Cleveland Browns going into these games. So we'll do one more game because we're going to have to finish this tomorrow, man. We got 17 games now and we on game 9. So we still got 8 more games to do. So after that matchup, they go ahead and they take on the Cincinnati Bengals. So another team in which they had some pretty close games, and Cincinnati has this kid called Joe Burrows, and Joe Burrows,
He won't be there.
He pretty good.
Yeah, but he won't play in this game.
When does he come back? Which week?
He won't be back from that injury by that point.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, but I mean, they got Jamar Chase in the with the fourth pick? No, the third pick.
Yeah.
I would have gone Penei Sewell with that pick because you got to keep Joe Burrow upright. And there's a reason why he's not going to be playing in this game, and it's because of picking players like Jamar Chase, who of course is a great player. Do you know that Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow, Randy Moss's son, I forgot his first name, and then Terrence Marshall and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they were all on the same offense. And that last year that Jamar Chase played with those guys, he was better than Justin Jefferson. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that should have went offensive line as well, because it doesn't matter how, and Cleveland has learned this lesson, it doesn't matter how good your quarterback is. If you don't have the offensive line to block him, it doesn't matter what he's going to do because he can't stay upright to do it. And that's one of the things, we have that jersey with all the names on the back of all the quarterbacks that we've went through. So if anything, that's been a learning lesson. And how the Cleveland Browns did everything I mentioned before is they got the quarterback, they got the offensive line, and now they're showing up the defense. So they did everything in stages and a phase. So unfortunately, the Cincinnati Bengals have not done that. So we're going to see what's going to happen. Do you know what week that he's supposed to come back?
Well, I mean, it's usually a 12-month rehab. So he went out in November.
Mm-hmm.
So that will put him coming back in December. I wouldn't even play him at all in 2021, to be honest with you. I would just let him just sit out the entire year, get his knee fully healthy. And then he can maybe run the scout team or something like that, but just kind of keep him engaged. But the Bengals aren't going to really contend for a playoff spot, in my opinion, even if he was there. So I would just let him sit out, and maybe they can get another offensive lineman, because I know they did draft one after they drafted Chase. I think they got an offensive lineman in the second round, but they can go and get another one of those hogs here in the first round next year, and then let him come back all the way fresh.
I'm seeing some stuff that's saying he might be back for the start of the season.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he's young, and science has advanced a lot, but I'm just like, wow, okay.
Yeah, but it ain't advanced that much. You don't want to put that's your franchise quarterback for the next 10 to 12 years at least. Why, if they do that, then they're simply showing why they are the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, they said they have him on a 9-month timeline, and they feel that he might be he might be ready. That's what they're saying.
That would be a total mistake.
He got back to throwing in February.
Wow.
Week 1 is a target.
Okay, Cincy.
Yeah, they say no preseason would use practices to create comfort in a 9 to 12-month injury. All signs have him on the 9-month timeline, which would be back for the opener. So, and then, it's also up to Joe Burrow. These guys consider themselves to be warriors and competitors where, he might look at it as a disservice to not be there. But I agree that they should have picked Penei Sewell as well. I think that you have to block for him and keep him upright. I think he's a special talent, man. I think he's a really special talent.
Mm-hmm.
And he might be able to do some things for Cincinnati. I mean, they got a whole host of problems, but the way he throws that ball, man, and he's an Ohio State guy. I don't care what anybody says about him winning that title with LSU. He's an Ohio State guy. His degree is from Ohio State.
What do the books say? What do the books say?
The books in which is most important, the academic books, says that his degree is from the Ohio State University. That is what the academic books, because he's a student at first. That is the most important book of all. That's what I'm going by, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, so since you went there, then why I don't even know what degree he has. So how
it don't matter.
Wait, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going with. You're talking about the most important thing is the fact that he got a degree or his academics. What is he in?
Him being able to throw a ball is a bonus.
Okay, I got you.
Let me see. Let me Google right quick.
Well, the book that counts is the one where he was the number 1 overall pick. The Bengals have entrusted his talent and his services for the next X amount of years. Throwing him out there without the proper protection is going to lead the Bengals to picking another quarterback very soon, i.e. the New York Jets, i.e. the Arizona Cardinals, i.e. the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, so he graduated from Ohio State in 2018 with a degree in consumer and family financial services. And then he went to LSU as a graduate student. And he got his graduate degree in his master's degree in liberal arts. It doesn't tell the actual discipline, but it doesn't matter. He graduated from Ohio State first, and that's the most important thing. And Willie, man, that's almost our time. So I feel like, that's such a show. I have to go take our third break because we were talking, but we got to finish up this schedule game, and we're going to preview the New England Patriots versus the Browns. And New England Patriots with no Tom Brady, it should be a little bit easier, but we'll talk about this tomorrow. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to finishing up this schedule game. And tell everybody really quickly, it's 7 o'clock. So we'll talk about that tomorrow, but you listen to Her in the Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM. We are out of here.
Peace.